Que bueno, mi gente. Calix Boxing here. Hit that sub button for nightly boxing videos. Miguel Cotto, while everybody was paying attention to the big fight, Mayweather versus McGregor, which ended up being a decent night, in my opinion, Miguel Cotto was busy in another boxing event, beating up on Kamagai, as nobody was pretty much watching at the time. But Cotto, before the fight, about a month before the fight, said he's retiring at the end of this year. The end of the calendar year, he's done with boxing regardless, December 31st. But after this fight with Kamagai, he said that he wanted to fight one more time. He said, Freddie's about to tell you who I want to fight. And Freddie said, I want to fight the Canelo. He wants to fight the Canelo Triple G winner. That's who we want next. Now, that's not your typical going out fight. You know, generally you want to, especially when you're up there in age, you want to do like what Mayweather did Saturday night and fight a Conor McGregor type, a guy that you feel confident that you're going to beat. You feel really confident you're going to beat. Like, you would think Miguel Cotto would take an easier touch, go to New York, fight a guy who's outside the top 10 and look good and look good on his way out, retire that way. Let your people see you go out that way. But Miguel Cotto, much respect, man. He's saying, I don't want to go down that route. I want to fight Canelo versus Triple G, the winner of that fight, in my last fight. Props to him for that. Whether it's a good move or not, I don't know. But that's, as a fan, I love that. And as a fan, that's why I'm a fan of Cotto. That's why I've always been a fan of Cotto. He takes risks. You know, he takes calculated risks. He's a warrior, and he's a good fighter still. To this point, he's still a good fighter. Now, will that happen? That's the question, because you're talking about September. Middle September, Canelo and Triple G are going to fight each other, and they're going to fight each other in what will probably be a war, and both guys it's going to take a lot out of both guys. That's just what I see, and that's what most people see. It's going to take a lot out of both guys. So I just don't see either guy coming back that quick within 3 months to fight before the end of the year. So if Cotto's really serious about fighting the Canelo versus Triple G winner, he's got to step off of that December 31st deadline. He just has to, unless he's just BSing about fighting the Canelo-Golovkin winner, and he's still hardline on the December 31st, but he just wants to make himself sound good after the fight and say, well, since they can't do it by December 31st, I'm just going to fight somebody else. Now, the name I heard floating around a couple weeks ago was Lemieux in December in Madison Square Garden. That's what I heard. That's what was circulating around the boxing world. Everybody was talking about it. But now it seems to be switching to Canelo versus Golovkin winner. I just wouldn't look forward to that fight because, well, as a fan, I would look forward to it. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't get my hopes up about it happening, because that's just not a fight that's going to happen December 31st. So if Cotto is really serious about this, man, he's got to think about finishing off in spring of 2018 or something like that, because I think that's when you'll realistically see Canelo or Triple G return to action after this fight. I just think it's going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a hellacious fight, and both guys will most likely come out of this with both guys will most likely come out of it with some damage. So I just don't see either one bouncing back. But if you're Canelo or Triple G, that's a fight you want, because it's the biggest name other than themselves. It's the biggest name out there at middleweight, and it's a winnable fight for both guys. You know, Cotto's just up there in age. Canelo has already beaten him, but there's a lot of people, and it was a close fight. It was a close fight, but there are a good number of people who want to see a rematch, would like to see a rematch, would like to see a rematch over a lot of other fights out there anyway. And there are people out there who want to see Golovkin versus Cotto. So it's an intriguing fight. It's a fight that would be between two named fighters, and it's a winnable fight for both guys. I mean, it's just a fight that Canelo and Triple G would be a pretty good favorite in. Pretty good favorite. So, but props to Cotto if he's serious about this. If he's really serious about this, props to him for wanting this fight. And, you know, when Cotto speaks, you pretty much take him at face value, because he pretty much says what he wants. And you take it at face value. So I do believe he wants the winner of that fight. I do believe Freddie Roach believes in him. and would want that fight too. So I don't know. We'll see. I just have my doubts because I just don't see this fight happening by December 31st. And Cotto said multiple times that that's when he wants to be out of there. He doesn't want to fight till the end into 2018. So we'll see. That's a hard line deadline, but I've seen guys. Obviously, this is boxing. I've seen guys step off of retirements before, in prolonged retirements before. So I don't know. But Cotto, do you think he'll fight Canelo versus Golovkin winner? Do you think he's really retiring by the end of 2017, or do you see him fighting somebody else like Lemieux? Hit me up. Let me know what y'all think about this. Peace.